Pig butchering describes a category of crypto scam where you're fattening up the pig, that's the victim, then you butcher it.
Geoff Berg is a trial lawyer who's been battling crypto scammers, business litigation, and courtroom chaos since 2001. From pig butchering cons to messy partnership breakups, Geoff's seen it all. Today, he's walking us through some of the wildest legal traps you need to watch out for.
It's not once you've transferred everything, it's once they believe you've transferred everything. You say yes, they say no. What do you do then? Do not ask ChatGPT to write your partnership agreement. Do not download it.
We're all human.
Thank you. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Good morning, runner viewers, and good morning, Geoff.
Good morning.
I was really looking forward to have our interview because a couple of weeks ago, I received a text message on WhatsApp saying, hey, it was nice to meet you last week. I usually do not respond to messages from unknown numbers, but I happened to attend a conference for work, and I thought it was somebody from the conference. So I said, nice to meet you, but I don't recognize the number. And the response was, I'm a crypto investor. So that's where I knew it was a scam. We've been reading that this is becoming a huge business with scammers stealing over 75 billion globally. And more people are falling victims. Can you tell us what is a crypto scam?
Well, you just described one way that it starts.
Okay.
People will receive, and I'm willing to bet everybody who's watching and listening have received texts like that.
Yeah.
Great to meet you. Or, hi, Cindy, did you pick up the cake? From unknown numbers. And most people will just delete it, block it, report it, because they know right away this is some kind of come on. This is obviously going to be a scam of some kind. And there is, within the larger group, the subgroup, who will respond. Because, I don't know, they're more polite than the rest of us. And they'll respond and say you have the wrong number. The person on the other end recognizes that as an opportunity to strike up a conversation. And if that proves to be true, and the conversation continues, it becomes what is truly a confidence scheme. Con artist, con, short for confidence. And if the person on the other end is able to gain the confidence of the target, of the mark, it will continue. It's a long con. Long. Meaning a relationship of trust is built. And so the text you got, if you had responded, if the conversation had continued, would have become, well, tell me about your business. Tell me about your life. And every piece of information you gave would be used by the person on the other end to build a profile about you.
Okay.
And eventually, once enough trust had been built, the person on the other end would offer you what they would describe as the opportunity
I see.
to cash in the way that they say they had. And there begins an effort by the people on the other end to drain every penny you have and more. If you've spent everything you have, they'll encourage you to go borrow and get more.
Wow.
It is heartless, it is relentless, and as you pointed out, very profitable for them.
So I've also heard the term pig butchering. Is it the same as crypto scam? Is it different? Can you explain?
Pig butchering describes a category of crypto scam.
Okay.
And it's not our term. It's not the term of the victim. It's not the term of law enforcement. It's the term used by the scammers.
Okay.
And it's a crude translation of Chinese, where a lot of this originates, where you're fattening up the pig, that's the victim, then you butcher. Butcher meaning drain every penny you can. And what you got, the text you described, or the WhatsApp message you described, is only one way that this is done. Introductions are made, wrong numbers. You've probably gotten messages that say, oh, your resume came up and we've got a great work from home opportunity for you. That's another one. Romance scams. That is probably the biggest.
Seriously?
Yes.
How do they happen?
People who are single, who are lonely, who are in some cases desperate, vulnerable, sad, are easier marks. If you can be made to fall in love with a fictional character that they create, and if it's a fictional character, it can be whatever they think you want. You're much more likely or much more susceptible to manipulation. Much easier to manipulate you into doing what they want. And what they want, once they tell you about this opportunity, is for you to go to a site or download an app that looks very much like a legitimate trading platform. Crypto is an asset like anything else. It's new-ish, but it's still an asset that can be bought and sold. So there are markets for it. So just like you've got a Schwab account, you can download E-Trade app and see green and red and various things you can buy and sell. They'll tell you to download an app or go to a site, and on that site or on that app will look exactly like any other crypto trading platform.
So it's hard to recognize whether it's
completely
legit.
fake. They sell to one another, the scammers, templates.
No way.
There's one I have seen, I don't know how many times. It's the same format, the same template. And you can create an account, and here's your account, here are your assets, and here's how you're doing. And here's a spoiler alert, you're always doing great. Your returns are astronomical. But when you transfer money into your account, what you're really doing is transferring crypto into their wallet. There is no account. That's what they're aiming for. So that's a very long, rambling answer to a very simple question.
So
how dare you?
After you transfer that money, I guess once you transfer everything, then they disappear.
Yes.
And the platforms don't exist.
Once they're convinced they can't get anything else out of you. It's not once you've transferred everything, it's once they believe you've transferred everything. So the butchering part follows a pretty predictable pattern. You'll, at first, even people who are susceptible to this type of con are still a little leery. They still have their guard up a little. They're hopeful, but they know somewhere in the back of their mind, this can't be right. So when they first invest and they put in $1,000 on Tuesday, and by the following Monday, that $1,000 is now $3,500. They'll think to themselves, this can't be real. I'm going to take out some money and see if I get it. So they'll go into the app or on the website, and they'll ask to withdraw $200.
Okay.
And they'll get it and be convinced this is real. And if I just made $2,500 in 6 days, imagine what my entire life savings is going to do. So they put in their entire life savings. I have a client who put in everything he had, every penny, $30,000. It was all he had in the world. And the scammer, who he was in love with, convinced him to go and borrow another $15,000 on his credit card.
No way.
You knew that this was all he had, but the scammers are very good at what they do. They convinced him by manipulation and cruelty to, at a very high rate of interest, go borrow more on credit cards. So they'll push you. Are you sure that's it? Because this is really going to take off. And don't you have friends you could ask? Don't you have credit cards or assets you could take loans against? And frequently people do and will.
So who's running these operations? Where are they located?
There are a bunch of different groups and people who do this. The main ones are Chinese organized crime.
Okay.
And a lot of this emanates from China, but is not always based in China.
Okay.
There's publicly available information. You can look up reports about the way that these scams are organized, the way they're executed, and how they're, I hate to use this word, staffed. Because there's a lot of human trafficking.
I was going to ask about that. How is human trafficking and crypto are connected?
This is one of the hardest, emotionally, the most difficult parts of this to really assimilate as a human. I'm a lawyer, but I still retain some small amount of what used to be my humanity. There are multiple victims involved in this, and the person who's been scammed had their life utterly destroyed. You would never think it, but the other victim in this transaction is the scammer, because the scammer is, in, I want to say most cases, a prisoner who's been trafficked. Someone who, just to take a hypothetical, someone who lives in a small village in India, speaks very good English, and sees an ad for an opportunity in Thailand. Any big legitimate company, Microsoft, Intel, we're hiring in Bangkok, send in your resume. Or they'll get a text that says, we came across your resume, are you interested in coming to Thailand? They'll show up at the airport in Bangkok, be told to meet the bus outside the terminal. They'll go meet the bus. Person organizing the whatever it is, recruitment, will take their passport and say, welcome, hop in, we're headed to the office, and then drive them to a remote part of the country where they are interred in a camp and starved, beaten, threatened, and held captive and made to conduct these scams.
Essentially, it's modern slavery.
It is slavery.
So if it's such a big human rights issue, why are we giving so little attention to this?
Well, I think that tells you about a lot. Unfortunately, it says a lot about our priorities as people, as countries. It's just not a priority.
That is sad. How can we prevent this happening to us? This meaning not being scammed.
If it was possible to completely prevent it, it would have been prevented, but it's not. It preys on our essential humanity. What we are, who we are as people. That's what makes it so effective. We are pack animals. We need companionship. We need affirmation. We need comfort. And the scammers offer the opportunity for all of that with the promise of much more. A lifetime of, in many cases, security and love. And so it is the most abhorrent kind of manipulation of people, frequently people who are in desperate situations or who are diminished, people with dementia.
True. In fact, I was seeing my chiropractor yesterday, and he said that they had to cut his mom's access to Facebook because she's been talking to all these people and sharing about her life and all the Facebook friends that she never met. So, yeah.
Imagine
He signed up.
Imagine being the kind of person who knows that there are millions of innocent but diminished people readily available to you in an instant, if you can just find them on social media and seeing them as a target of opportunity. People who are likely going through the worst time of their lives, the end of their lives, the slow, in many cases, slow decline that leads to their death, during which they are unable to continue to function as they were, to recognize the people that they loved, understand what's true and what's not, and seeing them as a market.
Very unhuman. What legal advice could you give to someone who has been scammed but feels hopeless to report or do something about it?
It is an incredibly difficult time for people who were already not as strong as they might otherwise have been. This guts them. They may have been near the bottom before. Now they're at the bottom and digging through no fault of their own. First thing to do is to, I say this not as a lawyer, the first thing to do is to try and gain some perspective that as bad as this definitely is, financially, emotionally, socially, it's not the end of your life. Doesn't define you, or doesn't have to. And I say that because I've spoken to many who have been thrown into such emotional dysregulation and such deep despondence that they legitimately do contemplate ending their lives. over something like this.
So sad.
And so the first thing to recognize is this just isn't it. This isn't what defines you. There are resources. First thing you should do is contact the FBI through what's called the IC3, which you can find at letter IC and the number 3.gov. It's an FBI website where you can report everything that's happened to you. And though the FBI is very busy with these complaints, as you can imagine, they will get to it. It's just going to take time. Then, if you have the resources, you can hire a tracing team, an investigator, who can try and find your crypto, trace it.
Okay.
Which is possible, but is not for an amateur to try. And you can try and find a lawyer. I would just add, because these are the most reprehensible human beings on the planet right now, as far as I can tell. The scammers, of course, being sophisticated, know that their victims are going to be looking to get their crypto back. So they set up fake law firm websites. They set up fake tracing or investigator websites and charge people they've already stolen from with using the same bait they used before, false hope.
So when people are trying to recover their assets that were stolen or lost in crypto scams, what are the typical legal challenges?
I don't even know where to begin.
Maybe the top three.
As we say in the law, and this is sort of, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds using legal jargon, but it's hard.
Yeah.
There are a lot of challenges. You can cut that part out. I use the F word.
It's okay. We're all human.
Thank you. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. They're jurisdictional challenges. They're obviously the biggest challenge is you don't know who these people really are. And it's more likely than not that you're never going to know who these people are. And to file a lawsuit is a sort of baseline requirement.
You don't have the identity.
Yes. You have to have a plaintiff, you have to have a defendant. And look, there are cases where you can sue what we call DOE defendants, but you got to have an address. You can't have a hypothetical lawsuit. That's to begin with. That's extremely difficult. But
Go ahead.
well, with every problem, there's usually a solution, and our team has been able to overcome a lot of
that's
these
why lawyers
challenges.
are being paid big bucks, you know.
Well, in this area,
Well,
you get paid no bucks unless you figure it out.
Yeah. Makes sense. Are governments or law enforcement are doing something to stop this?
They're trying.
Okay.
They don't have the resources. They haven't committed the capital. And I mean that in all senses. They don't have the personnel, to say nothing of the amount of money it would take to really attack this problem. And of course, many governments don't have the will. Some countries, particularly in Southeast Asia, profit mightily from this, directly or indirectly, and have absolutely no incentive. In fact, their incentive is the opposite. Their incentive is to allow it to continue because they're the ones making money from it.
How did you even get into this field? It's so rare.
it sort of happened to me.
Okay.
I've been doing almost entirely commercial litigation for the vast majority of my now 30-year career. And I was contacted first by a friend of mine who introduced me to a team who had been working on what they sort of described as a theory or an idea.
Okay.
I knew about pig butchering. I knew about crypto. I had some level of understanding the scale of the problem and some familiarity with that world, the ecosystem of crypto, which I think is why they came to me, and explained their theories, their ideas, and that led to more of a sort of give and take of ideas. This is how lawyers work out problems. We argue with each other. So we had several arguments that I like to think weren't personal, but you never know how to take these things. We have a fantastic team of people that include 2 law professors and multiple former, how do I say this? People who work for 3-letter government agencies.
If you were a king for the day and could come up with one law that could change crypto space, what would it be?
I don't know that there's one law, one single law. It would have to be one law with a whole lot of subparts that could do that. I would commit an enormous amount of law enforcement and intelligence resources to the problem. We know, as a country, it's really not a big secret. You can go online and see it. There are articles published with satellite photos, publicly available information, camps in Southeast Asia holding people who have been trafficked and who governments, and I think the UN, believe are being held specifically for the purpose of scamming. We know where they are. We have a very good idea who's running it. And if I was king for a day, Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, and every other special forces unit I could find would be in that camp the next day, liberating those people. It's that we tolerate in 2025, that we ever tolerated it, but that we tolerate it now. Human bondage, the use of human beings as commodities, is a stain, not just on the United States, which has the greatest power to act.
That's true.
But the entire world. So if I was king for a day, that's what I would do. Short of that, there's just a lack of will. I mean, short of that, I say I assume that's not going to happen. If it is, I look forward to, and I have a 7 1/8 crown size. We have to commit more resources. The laws are on the books. I mean, it's not legal to defraud people, steal from them.
Yeah.
You don't need laws against that. What you need is the will to attack the mobsters who are profiting from this enormous transfer of wealth from people who cannot afford it to people who don't need it.
Well, cheers to that. We'll see how this is going to evolve for sure. But thank you for opening up this new world to me and to our listeners as well. I want to move to the other side of your practice, business litigations. Can you tell from your experience why so many business partnerships break down?
Well, that's generally easy. It's money. There are kind of different aspects to that.
Okay.
The breakdown of trust almost always occurs in partnership disputes, or generally known as partnership disputes. People who own an LLC together, they start disagreeing about the distribution of profits, the direction of a business, ways to maximize profits, ways to minimize expenses, all the things you think about when you're running a business. And they just become fundamental disagreements, even good faith ones. I don't think my partner's cheating me. I just think she's wrong. And I don't know what to do about it. She keeps making these decisions that I don't agree with. I think they're going to cost us money. She thinks they're going to make us money. I don't see any way in hell that's ever going to happen. And I don't want to go on like this. But our partnership agreement, or our company agreement, LLC agreement, whatever it is, and this is the thing I see the most. It says we own everything 50-50, which is what, of course, we're partners.
Yeah.
Everything's 50-50. There is, and when you get into the document and you see a partnership agreement or an LLC agreement, there's no mechanism to resolve disputes. Because when you're starting, like in a marriage, you're optimistic. You can't possibly foresee a situation in which you become so estranged from one another, so at odds with one another that you can't even agree on simple things. You can't imagine. That's not what we're doing. We're here to make a ton of money. Then it happens. You say yes. They say no. What do you do then? The agreement doesn't provide for that. You've each got 50%. If you can't agree, you got to go to court. Have a court decide for you. And usually, in the last 10 years, 15 years probably, when people come to me with this problem, it's because we downloaded our agreement from the internet. We just Googled partnership agreement. And you look at it and
There are many templates, I can tell you.
I wasn't born yesterday. No. I think I know what's going on here. Which one of you is going to call me first?
No, we're still working on that. That's why we have a lawyer on the show.
Oh, well,
to prevent a mistake.
How long have we been walking?
About 30 minutes now.
Okay, so that's 2.5 hours billable time.
I know, right?
You'll see that invoice shortly.
Sounds good.
You do not ask ChatGPT to write your partnership agreement. Do not download it from the end. You're going to end up with people come to me with these things. I'm looking at it and it's just boilerplate.
Yeah.
Whereas party of the first part and party of the second part herein wish to, and you're not a lawyer, you read this, it says herein, so it's got to be good.
Yeah.
And, it's applying the law of the Ivory Coast with venue in Sri Lanka. Something that it's clearly not what you intended and is not going to benefit either of you. Don't do that. Don't download things from the internet.
So what are the red flags that businesses or business partners should be looking
usually
to prevent the conflict?
Yeah, they're pretty bright. It's people go quiet. It's like a relationship. It's like any other human relationship. People go quiet, they become secretive, they stop communicating. But the biggest, I wouldn't say red flag, biggest indicator that you're headed for trouble is a decline in revenue or a sharp increase in revenue. either one can trigger this. Business exists to make money. And if you're not making money, or you're making so much money that you think you're entitled to more, or they think they're entitled to more, can cause problems. I'd say the most common dispute of this kind that I've seen through my entire career has been, there's disagreement, large or small. One of the partners, one of the owners, decides, I can do this better than my partner. My partner is just a layabout, doesn't contribute anything anyway. I'm gonna go have a little talk with the employees, tell them I'm opening a competing business across the street and I'm just leaving. And they can either stay here with the absentee owner, who none of them like anyway, or they can come with me across the street to my new business. And one day, they're just across the street doing the exact same thing. That is guaranteed to result in a lawsuit and probably a trial.
I heard stories like that. And then the first party wants to really win and kill the other party, kill the business. And so
It's
not about healthy competition anymore.
That's right. It's just like, look, these are human beings engaged in human institutions. It's like marriage.
Yeah.
Becomes personal.
If business divorce is like marriage, is it harder to split up the business or get divorced from a spouse?
I studiously avoid doing the latter. I do not do family law, and I've seen it because, well, not that anybody cares for these purposes, but my ex-wife is a family court judge.
Oh, wow.
Is the best family court judge, Janice Berg for judge. Contribute and vote for her. She's awesome. What was the question? I just wanted to get that plug in.
Is it harder to split up a business or get divorced?
I don't know.
From a spouse?
It always depends on the people involved. You, as a business trial lawyer, my job is to always advocate zealously for my client. And I think any business trial lawyer will tell you this, that you are also obligated to encourage your client to make business decisions, not make decisions based on emotion. I hate that son of a bitch. He did this, he did that. He's a criminal. You know, you hear this all the time. Sometimes it's even true. But you want to direct people to what's going to get them the best result. Sometimes that's a trial. Sometimes it's just making painful compromises.
How can a business owner prenup their business? What shall they do?
How can they prenup
their business? Yeah.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Just like you would a marriage. You go to, this sounds very self-serving. Go to a lawyer. This is the ounce of prevention that is meant to keep you from the pound of cure that you are definitely going to need if this breaks down later. And unlike a marriage, where I don't know how you would ask for a prenup in a marriage. I mean, I know people do.
Yeah, it depends on the person and your level of comfort. But in business, it's business, right?
But everybody expects it. Of course, it protects everyone. and you want the documents to be as good as they can, or as good as they can be. So you hire somebody for the business to advise what is in the best interest of the business. Is it really in the best interest of the business to have two owners or two partners make 50-50 decisions with no means of breaking a tie? Is that really in the best interest of the business?
Oh, I see. You also need to think about not your own interests only, but the business interest.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Presumably you're there for the best interest of the business.
Yeah. So you need to put the language in the agreement.
Always. So much better, when you're walking people through this at a time in their lives when they're very hopeful, so excited for this business, we think it's going to be a big success. The lawyer's job is to be a huge downer.
Yeah.
I don't know, I hope it is a huge success. But on the off chance it's not, here's what I think you need to plan for. Here's how to protect you, and here's how to protect you, and here's how to protect the business. So everybody has a clearly defined role, and no one shows up later and says, yes, we're 50-50, but my partner told me when I made this decision that if I agreed, then I would actually get 75%. I've seen that happen. And do you want that? You want your partner showing up later and saying, she told me I had 75%. No, he didn't. We're 50-50 partners. Well, now you got to let a jury decide. You don't want that.
Business litigations clearly can be very intense. Can you share a case that you worked on that was very dramatic without, of course, breaking confidentiality?
There'd be no confidentiality because I've tried a bunch of these, and we have these cases where the only way to resolve it, many times it's because people don't make business decisions. They want to go to trial to make the other party suffer, or they think this is the only way I'm really going to get justice, which is, you're right. I don't mean you are correct. I mean, it is your right to seek. So you want a jury trial? I will give you a jury trial. And I have, on more than one occasion, seen people, adversaries, sit on the stand and absolutely spitting curse at the other party. This is something they've been waiting years to say. And they'll sit on that witness stand in front of a jury and lose their shit. That motherfucker told me this in 1978, and I have never forgotten he said this, and I was dragging his ass around for the last 40 years, and I'm sick of it, and I lost millions of dollars because of that son of a bitch sitting over there. And people get a sense of themselves because they've been successful in business in many cases that doesn't necessarily square with reality. And that's one example of it not translating well in front of a jury. People don't like that type of arrogance and that type of condescension. They don't see the adversary the same way the person sitting on the stand does. They don't, for one thing, they don't know the other person. They don't have 40 years of
Working
emotion.
together.
Right. By the way, I did the math. 1978 was not 40 years ago. I'm assuming this case has been dragging on. So don't
Wow, how many years are the cases?
question me about math. That was not was not my
You're a
understanding. I will
lawyer. It's
walk
okay.
away from this interview immediately.
That's cool. What are some of the cases that you're working on, how long do they usually last?
I will give you a lawyer answer, which is that it depends.
I know that answer.
In Harris County, Harris County, Texas, where my firm is based, you're in state court and you've got a kind of garden variety business dispute of some kind. Many times those cases can be resolved by the judge without the necessity of a jury trial or a bench trial for that matter, meaning the judge is the fact finder. So on paper, basically. And those will be quicker, maybe 2.5 years. But each of the judges, the state court judges in Harris County, have 2,500, 3,000 cases at any one time. So it can take 3 years, 4 years.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
life is completely different
Exactly.
on the day of trial than it was on the day you filed it. Federal court's different. I don't want to besmirch, insult, or in any way alienate state court judges or staff. Federal court is more efficient.
I see. So business partnerships that last, what makes them last? What makes a successful business partnership? What shall Yulia and I do to be successful?
Everybody has a clearly defined role and you communicate well and you're fair with each other and you treat each other with respect and you abide by the agreements you make. If you make some deal, okay, we've got this little side project and I know it's more work for you, so if it hits, I'm going to give you 60%. Then it hits, all of a sudden she forgot all about that 60%. No, and you're not bound by it because that's not what the written agreement says, or at least that's what you think. No, be a person of your word, treat one another fairly, and abide by your agreement.
So, I mean, that's a good point. So if there is a side project, right, do you recommend making an amendment to the agreement and documenting everything?
Yes. Yes.
It's getting very expensive, Geoff.
I really, it's terrible news to hear that you're going to have to hire a lawyer again. You don't always have to hire a lawyer. If you send an email that says, okay, on this project, we're splitting it this way, it doesn't have to say, notwithstanding anything in that certain agreement dated whatever date to the contrary, parties agree herein that profits as to X, Y, and Z shall be divided as follows. It doesn't have to be that. It should be. Of course, we would prefer that it be. But if you send an email where you're agreeing, it's pretty good evidence.
Yeah, as long as it's documented.
Usually agreements, partnership agreements, or LLC agreements have a provision that says, or they should have provisions that say, this agreement may not be altered, amended, varied, except in writing signed by both parties.
Yeah,
So-
they do have that.
If you just show up in court and say, well, that's what she told me, that is generally not going to fly.
Well, if people have questions about crypto, or maybe they were a part of the scam, or if they have questions about business litigations and concerns and need advice, how can they reach you?
bergpc.com, BERG, PC, syndicates.com. I hate to be I should have worn it. Oh, look at that. That's awful. Should have worn
We'll put the link.
some gear. Will you put a chyron, a lower third? Bergpc.com or at, what is I don't know what my handle is on social media. Google, ask ChatGPT, BergPC, BergPC.com.
Perfect. We'll put that link so people know where to go to if they had some issues.
Well, thank you very much.
One more thing, since you said this word ChatGPT, we all love ChatGPT and definitely follow how AI is evolving. We're trying to stay current with it, right, and implement it in our daily lives. So why you do not recommend using ChatGPT in drafting our agreements or, in maybe any other things?
Because it doesn't know what the hell it's doing.
Elaborate on that.
Everybody uses ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT. It's absolutely mind-blowing what that thing can do.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. But as a lawyer, I have just to test it out said, here's the legal issue I'm facing. Analyze X, Y, and Z and include this factor and that factor. And the answer it gives is usually in the ballpark. It's not far off. Sometimes it's spot on. And when I have followed up and said, cite cases from this jurisdiction that support the proposition you just set out, it cites a bunch of cases and absolutely makes them up. They don't exist.
Oh, wow.
And there are courts now with standing orders that forbid the use of ChatGPT. May not use it for briefing in this court. And there have been instances where lawyers have submitted motions, briefs, written entirely by, or in large part by ChatGPT, that cite these non-existent cases. You can find these, they're reported on, and subsequently the court or the opposing party will file something that says, I've looked for the cases cited by counsel and I can't find them. And lawyers have gotten in deep doo-doo, as we like to say in the practice. Really big trouble for what boils down to misleading a court. Because you're telling a court, this case stands for this proposition, this case stands for that proposition, and that case actually doesn't exist.
It's insane.
Not a good decision.
Yeah, not at all. Well, we'll reach out to you then. You convinced me.
BergPC.com.
Yeah.
Did I mention? Did I say that?
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your expertise. I'm glad this was not billable. So
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
thank you, Geoff.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. And I'm sorry we couldn't run, that you all are in such bad shape or such inexperienced joggers that, and next time, keep it down, will you? I mean, not so many questions. It's really a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,